Hello, my wonderful people. Welcome to the beginning of the semester. And this is going to be our first video for this semester. And we're going to start with the very beginnings, right? And one of the very first topics you guys see is monomials, binomials, trinomials, polynomials, and everything nomials, right? And everyone's like, what is that? Well, before we start talking about that, we need to define a few things. So the first thing that we want to talk about is a term. Now, a term is a very general term, right? What does it mean in this case? It actually has some very specific meaning. So in this case, it's a bunch of variables or numbers multiplied together. So for example, you can have a number 4. Why is this a term? Because 4 is always 4 times 1, right? So there is a multiplication involved. Or you can have 4x. Now, why is that a term? Well, that's 4 times x. You can even have 4xy. This is 4 times x times y. Still multiplying. As long as we're multiplying, it's a term. So here's another example. How about 3x squared? Well, this is 3 times x. Yes, it is. Well, what about something like this? 15 times x, y, z, w, h, yeah, and we can keep on and a, b, c, and so on. Well, all of this is a term, because all of these numbers are multiplied together. You can have as many of them as you want as long as you're multiplying. Now, when does this become tricky? Well, how about this one? 4x to the negative 3. Oh. Am I multiplying? Well, actually, no. Just a quick review, right? X to the negative 3 is actually 1 over x to the 3. So this would be 4 divided by x to the 3. So watch out for negative exponents. Positive exponents, good. Negative exponents, not a term. Fractional exponents, probably not. Okay? So, those are the terms of our polynomials. So now let's use this. A term of a polynomial by itself is called a monomial. So here's an example, right? 4x. This is just one term. So one term means monomial. Mono means one. So what about two terms? Well, what about 4x squared minus 2y? Well, now I have two clear terms, right? These three numbers, yes, 3x squared is x twice, right? These three numbers multiply together, and these two multiply together. But they're not multiplied between each other because there's a minus sign. So that's two terms, right? This is a term and this is a term. So two terms is binomial. Binomial. Now bi means two and mono means one. Bi is easy to remember because bicycle, right? 2 cycles, 2 wheels, bicycle, right? So two. Well, what about 3 of those? How about this? 2x minus 3y cubed plus 5. Believe it or not, this is a trinomial. Why? Because it has 3 terms. 1, 2, 3. 3 terms, trinomial. Well, what if you have more? Well, if you have more than that, we just call them polynomials. In fact, we call all of them polynomials because poly means many. So if you have something crazy like this, 3x cubed minus 2x squared plus x minus 1, we've got 4 terms. This is a polynomial with 4 terms. Awesome! Very, very easy. Except sometimes there are tricky things happening. And the trickiest things is when you see something that looks like a term but isn't. So let's review what is not a term. So not a term. Obviously, x to the negative number, any number, negative number. This is a division. And we must have multiplication. And the second one is real weird, but it shows up. Let's say you have 0 times y to the 5th. This is not a term. This is nothing. This is a 0. 0 times anything is a 0. This equals to 0. 0 is not a term. Easy. I hope that helps.